Greetings and thank you for joining us for the weekly weather briefing for the week of Monday, May 2nd, 2016. This is meteorologist John Fox with your forecast. So, taking a look at the forecast for the week ahead, we are looking at another very warm week across much of the inland northwest. Temperatures will likely peak sometime on Tuesday and then perhaps peak again by the time we get to the end of the week. But that's not our main story. Our main story this week will be an increasing chance of the showers and thunderstorms beginning Tuesday and continuing through Thursday across portions of the inland northwest. We'll show you specifically where we're expecting to see those showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rains look like they'll be the primary threat at this time. However, we could see some small to moderate hail as well and some gusty winds. Aside from the chances of showers and thunderstorms, hydrology problems will likely peak up later this week. They'll mainly be from snowmelt over the mountains due to the warm temperatures causing rises along the rivers and near the Cascades. But slow-moving thunderstorms could also produce some problems near burn scars due to flash flooding. So let's take a look at the general weather pattern. Here's today's weather pattern, and what we see is a big ridge of high pressure denoted by this blue H there sitting over the Idaho Panhandle. That's given us the warm, dry, sunny weather that we're experiencing today. However, poised just off the coast is some moisture moving in off the eastern Pacific. As we move forward to Wednesday, that low pressure area, which is over the eastern Pacific, will begin to move onto the coast, and as a result, we'll start to see the moisture creep northward across much of the inland northwest by midweek. So specifically, what are we looking at? Well, for Tuesday, we're looking at that moisture to first move into the Cascades sometime during the afternoon and perhaps the evening hours. As it moves in, some daytime heating combined with that moisture could lead to some showers and thunderstorms primarily across Chelan and western Okanagan counties. Some of these thunderstorms will be slow movers. They'll likely move from the south toward the north, and they could impact some of the burn scars, including the Wolverine burn scar, as noted here on the west side of Lake Chelan. Our confidence level for this thunder developing is low, and our confidence for flash flooding is also low. However, once again, it looks like if thunderstorms were to form, they would do so by Tuesday afternoon and continue overnight. As we move into Wednesday, some more of that moisture is beginning to skirt a little bit farther to the east with time, and that's going to move our thunderstorm threat across all of north central and northeast Washington, mainly over the mountains, and that'll impact perhaps some of the burn scars, including the Stickpin Fire and the Okanagan Complex, as those thunderstorms move in. Our confidence for thunder is a little bit higher than what we see on Tuesday, so we're calling a low to moderate confidence for thunderstorms to form, and our confidence for flash flooding will be low to moderate as well. Although if we do see the thunderstorms form, there's no guarantee they'll move over the burn scars, but if they do, those areas could certainly be susceptible to some flash flooding. By the time we get to Thursday, that moisture is beginning to move out of the Cascades and instead shifting across north central and northeast Washington still, but now moving into the Idaho Panhandle as well. Out of all 3 days, this would be the day where we expect the best chance of thunderstorms, so our confidence for thunder is moderate to high. However, you'll notice that there are not as many burn scars over North Idaho as there are over north central and northeast Washington, and consequently, our confidence in flash flooding is low. Once again, though, if thunderstorms do form over a burn scar and they sit for any length of time, those areas will certainly be susceptible to flash flooding. So, by the time we get to the end of the week and into next weekend, high pressure is expected to return to the inland northwest. That'll bring us drier weather once again. The low pressure area, which was off the California coast, now moves into the desert southwest, and we'll continue to see moisture rotating around the low in a counterclockwise fashion. Whether or not some of this moisture remains poised over extreme southeast Washington and the southern Idaho Panhandle is questionable at this time. However, we're fairly certain that the remainder of the inland northwest should be dry by the time we get to Friday and continuing through the weekend. So here's a look at our 7-day forecast as far as temperatures go. We have Spokane on the left and Wenatchee on the right. The red line corresponds to what we expect for high temperatures, so you'll see for the Spokane area we're looking at highs mid-70s to lower 80s throughout most of the week, with the coolest day being Thursday. Somewhat similar for Wenatchee as well. You'll also notice that the low temperatures are a bit above normal as well. So how do these temperatures compare to normal for this time of year? Well, if we look and set our calendars for late June or early July, these are the sort of temperatures we'd be looking at least according to climatology. So obviously, we're well ahead of schedule for seeing some early summer warmth across the inland Northwest. All right, so with the rain and the showers and the thunderstorms we're expecting, as well as the potential for snowmelt over the Cascades, we could see some hydrology problems pop up later in the week. As far as main stem rivers go, the areas where we could possibly see bank flow would include the Methow, Stehekin, Aniat, and Okanagan River. And in fact, on the Okanagan River, we could actually touch flood stage by the time we get to this weekend, if not early next week. So, as far as hydrology goes, here's a look at what we experienced last week. We had temperatures about 6 to 10 degrees above normal over much of the inland Northwest. And just for curiosity, we looked at the SNOWTEL, or the thing that measures the amount of water in the snow, on Mount Spokane. This is a SNOWTEL called Quartz Peak. And what's interesting to note is if we look at the black line, which represents how much moisture is left in the snowpack, it actually is showing there is no snow left, at least at this SNOWTEL site on Mount Spokane. Well, how does this compare to average? Average line is the green line here, which would indicate that once the green line hits the bottom of the graph here sometime in the first couple weeks of June, that would be your normal time for seeing the snow melt on Mount Spokane. So we're a good month and a half ahead of schedule. What's also interesting is we reached our peak snow amount, or peak moisture amount in the snowpack right at the end of March, as noted here on the black line. But look at this, through the month of April, we were able to melt all the snow that was on Mount Spokane. This could be close to the fastest we've ever seen snow melt on Mount Spokane, and also for other SNOWTELs across the inland Northwest. So, moving on past the hydrology, with all the snowmelt we saw last week, how do our SNOWTELs, or water equivalent levels, compared to what we were seeing last year? Last year, we look on the right-hand side of the chart here, and it's showing lots of reds, which equate to snow water equivalents less than 50% of normal. The only places near 50% of normal were the Okanagan Highlands area, as well as down over southeast Washington and the Clearwaters. This year, it's a completely different story. However, we are starting to take away from these numbers rather rapidly with all this warm weather we've seen, and it's been relatively dry as well. So now, unlike what we saw a few weeks ago, we're seeing a lot of oranges pop up once again, which indicate snow amounts or snow water equivalents between 50 and 69%, and here in the Cascades we're looking between 70 and 80%. So although the numbers aren't as bad as they were last year at this time, we're rapidly melting what's left of the snowpack across the inland Northwest. Just taking a look ahead, once we get beyond this week, we're looking in our crystal ball for what we're expecting next week, the week of May 7th through May 11th, and it seems like a broken record, but once again we're calling for real good chances of above normal temperatures through that period, as well as drier than normal conditions as indicated by this brown shaded area across most of Washington and North Idaho. So once again, the overview for the week, we're expecting very warm temperatures for most of the week. Coolest day is going to be Wednesday and Thursday, but otherwise we're looking at temperatures more normal for the end of June or early July. We'll see a chance of thunderstorms occur between Tuesday and Thursday. Some of these thunderstorms could produce some heavy rains. And hydrology problems are possible, both from snowmelt and slow-moving thunderstorms. And the area we're most concerned with at this time would be in the Cascades area. So, once again, thank you for joining us for the weekly weather briefing from your National Weather Service in Spokane, and we hope you have a great week.